After a lifetime of travel, you would think that I had made all of the travel mistakes that could be made. Well, you would be wrong. I continue to make mistakes. I thought today I would share with you 11 of the mistakes I have made while traveling so that you won't make them. Hi, this is Sandy from Sandy Over 70. Thanks for watching. I hope if you like this video, you'll give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Now, let me tell you about the mistakes I've made. Please feel free to share in the comments any mistakes you may have made so that we don't make them either. Travel mistake number 1, not packing a sun hat for the Caribbean. This is not a big problem, as you can always buy a hat on the ship or in port. That's what I've always done many times. The problem is that I now own over 12 sun hats and am running out of space to store them. Number 2, buying a sun hat that is not packable and having to carry it both ways on the airplane. This is a real inconvenience to keep track of a sun hat in the airport and taxi. I now only buy sun hats that are packable and the problem is solved. Number 3, scheduling a Caribbean cruise in September. I've done this more than once because the fares are generally cheaper in September. There is a good reason for this. Hurricanes tend to strike the Caribbean in September. One time in September, we were booked on a cruise out of Fort Lauderdale. We couldn't get a flight out of North Carolina because a hurricane was heading this way. We missed that cruise. I never scheduled another one for September. Number 4, trusting decaf coffee to be decaf on a cruise ship. I'm very sensitive to caffeine. I never drink a caffeinated beverage after 3 p.m. or I will be awake all night. I can't tell you how many times I've ordered decaf coffee at dinner on a cruise and it turned out to be caffeine. One time I was awake the entire night until a breakfast restaurant opened at 7 a.m. Only after eating a meal was I able to get some sleep the next morning. I never again ordered coffee at dinner. I don't know if they forget that my order is for decaf and it's an honest mistake, or if they figure I'll never know the difference. I do know the difference, but not until after I drink it. Number 5, not bringing a travel pillow on a flight to Europe. Not only will a travel pillow help me sleep on an overnight flight, but it will help me nap in the airport if there is a flight delay. Since you never know if a flight will be delayed, I now never leave home without a travel pillow. I attach it to the outside of my carry-on bag so it's readily available. I originally used the blow-up type of pillow, but they always seem to deflate during the flight. I now buy the one sold in the airport. Number 6, grabbing an expired passport instead of the current one. Yes, this actually happened. I had 2 identical looking passports in my lockbox and I grabbed the wrong one. When I checked in at the airport desk, the agent told me my passport was expired. Since we were an hour away from our home, I couldn't go back and get the current one. We missed the flight to Europe and had to take a later flight. Now I ripped the cover off an expired passport, so there's no chance I will grab it by mistake. Number 7, not packing enough cool clothing for the Caribbean. I often pack clothing for the temperature of the city I am traveling from rather than the one I'm going to. For instance, when it's freezing cold in North Carolina and I'm packing for the Caribbean, I sometimes pack a light pullover sweater because I'm cold and I can't remember what it feels like to be hot. Or I might pack long-sleeve t-shirts instead of short-sleeve ones. As you can imagine, those items remain in the cabin for the length of the cruise. Number 8, packing medications in checked luggage. Yes, I know they warn us over and over not to do this, but on a trip to Europe, my husband did exactly that. He packed 2 weeks of life-sustaining medications in his checked luggage and only had a few days' worth with him. The bags got lost and we had no idea if or when they would arrive at the hotel we were staying in Berlin. The riverboat was leaving the next morning, and I know we would have had an impossible task to try to replace the medications in Germany. The riverboat left and we flew back home. The bags arrived just before we flew home, but there was nothing I could do at that point. Number 9, booking an air connection at an airport on the other side of the city. Now, I used to make all of our travel arrangements myself online. On one trip, we had a connection at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. Now, I dislike this airport because it's so hard to find anything. We were looking for the gate for our connecting flight. It turned out I had accidentally chosen an itinerary that connected at a different airport. That airport was far away. We were advised that the best and cheapest way to get there was by city bus. It was awful moving the luggage on that crowded bus. Never again. I now use a travel agent and everything is so much easier. Number 10, not having a jacket or heavy sweater on a transatlantic flight. The temperature on an aircraft seems cooler at night. It can be a very long night if you don't have a jacket or thick sweater to throw over yourself to sleep. I packed my jacket once in my checked bag and was miserable for the entire flight. I had trouble sleeping at all. Those thin airline blankets just don't do the job. Now I always have a thick jacket or sweater on the flight with me. Number 11, not having cell service while traveling internationally. I can't begin to tell you the stress this caused me when my husband packed his medications in bags that got lost. I had to arrange travel back home and did not have international cell service. The tour guide, who should have been helping me, disappeared, but that's another story. The easiest way to use your American phone in Europe is to add an international data plan to your current mobile service. Every major carrier lets you do this. Simply call them up or go online and they'll gladly upgrade your account to work with European carriers they have service agreements with. So there you have it. 11 mistakes I've made. Feel free to add your own in the comments below, so that maybe we won't make them as well. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. Thanks.